All right. I wanted to give you a short overview of what my new app can do, and I thought I'm directly recording it inside the app. So what you're seeing right now is an image mirrored 2 times, showing my front cam of my phone, and I can do different transformations on those images. So first of all, I can do transformations on the individual images. So I can change the rotation of each image, like right after it comes from the camera. And yeah, I can play with that and I can modulate this rotation. So I can have it always change back and forth and have some automation on it. Automatically, these are just some sliders I can turn up with a frequency and an amplitude, and it will just, yeah, modulate the parameter. And this works for basically all parameters that I'm going to talk about. So each individual image can be rotated. It can also be zoomed. It can be translated to the left, right, and to the top, bottom. And you see it will always mirror itself. So whenever I'm going out of the image, it will just repeat itself in a reverse way. And I can reset all of those. So those are the camera effects they apply on each individual image before it is sent through the kaleidoscope effect. The kaleidoscope effect itself, as you see right now, is mirroring the image twice, but I can turn that up to have multiple axes of the kaleidoscope. And of course, for this purpose, it's going to be a bit harder to recognize anything here. That's why I like to stay with the 2x2 grid, which is the most recognizable, because one of the important things about those visuals, I think, is that people can recognize themselves in the actual visuals that happen. All right, so these are the geometry options. So selecting how many axes you have. Once you have set your settings for the camera image, like individual rotation, individual zoom, and the axis setting, you can apply transformations on the master image. So on the whole image, including all the mirroring. So I can also change the angle of that one, which is a very nice parameter, and I can modulate this one. So that's something I would be doing for all visuals, usually having like some slight rotation on the master image, having it rotate a little bit. The same I can do for the zoom parameter, so I can zoom in and out here, and I can of course also modulate this one, and now it will automatically slowly zoom in and out all the time. And now we already got some nice mandala stuff going on, and we can play with our hands and generate nice patterns and whatnot. But in the end, it's all of course just mirrored camera images. Yeah, and also for the master, there is also a translate control, so I can move it to the left, to the right, and to the top and bottom. And as I say, it will always repeat, so there's no end to that. And I also have a tilt option, so I can tilt the camera 3-dimensionally to the left and right and to the top and bottom. And those I can also automate. So if I'm automating the tilting, you can see that it looks like the camera will be looking around all the time, like this. So now it's quite fast, but yeah, you see the camera is always changing the perspective, and combining that with a translate modulation will make it even crazier, because it looks like the camera is like flying around, changing its perspective over this huge 2D plane. So now the camera is always moving and zooming in, out, rotating, like everything is slightly modulated, but you can still recognize the original camera image, which I think is super fascinating about this whole technique. And so far, that was the state of my app as I used it on New Year's Eve, but now I have even added some more even crazier controls, I would say, because now I have a 3D tunnel parameter that I can turn on, and look at that. So I'm zooming in here now, and now we have a 3D tunnel. I can change the shape of the tunnel to be square corners, so now we have a square tunnel going on. And maybe I'm going to reduce the movement speed that we are having here a little bit, because we're really heavily moving through the tunnel. So I'm reducing this, and now we have a tunnel going on that we can have a speed parameter that will define how quickly we are flying through that tunnel. There is a field of view parameter that will change like the zoom of our camera inside the tunnel. And this way you can still generate really crazy 3-dimensional effects. So this one is really killing me. Like that's shader stuff on such a nice level. And yeah, I could have never done that without Gemini. It's crazy what AI is enabling me to do here. Yeah, so the app, it's definitely not final in that state. There's a lot of more stuff about to come, but I think this is already such a fun toy to play with. Hope you enjoyed looking through that, and text me if you want the app.